What is up, gentlemen and ladies? Yoshi here, and we are back with the final part of the Sombra map guides. Today bringing you guys control maps, starting off with Ilios, and let's do this. Okay, so to set up the map guides to go through all three map rotations on each map, I had to actually start the game mode and put it to best of 5 instead of best of 3. So, and also I put the capture point progress and everything at 500% so that way it caps really quick and we can just get through these as quickly as possible. So that way I don't need to do very much editing. So, starting, this is Ilios Lighthouse. There are 2 health packs that you can take on your side as well as on the other side. And that's this bottom health pack, which is more so a selfish one. I don't very often use that one unless there's like a lot of brawling going on the point, like if there's a lot of back and forth 50-50 percentage wise. And this one's the main one that you'll be taking to just have your team use it while pushing in that direction, jumping on the point, and fighting. This one you will be holding only when you have the point, so that way your team can fall back to it. And if you're playing at a higher level, I know that a lot of people come around and fight in this area before pushing to the point, so this one would be a very good one to take. But usually the main ones that I take are the big one on the enemy side, the big one on my side, and the little one in the back of the point. Let's move on to section number 2. Here we are on Ilios Ruins. These King of the Hill maps, by the way, are going to be extremely straightforward considering that they're just mirror maps. So we're going to be getting through sections really quickly. This is the main health pack that you're going to want to hold since both teams use it. Since the point's right here, people can just run up and use that one real quick. The selfish ones that I hold may vary. You could take this one back here to defend from your team's side. If the enemy team is super aggressive, you can just hold that one there. Come around behind them and poke at them a little bit. Or if you're feeling super aggressive, you can hold this one, put your translocator down, and constantly be in the enemy's backline, constantly be in their face, shredding down their supports. If you don't want to take those ones in the small rooms, you can take this one on both sides. I usually don't take those because not a lot of people push in this direction unless they're going to use high ground. But the main 3 are the big one on the ledge and the big ones in the small rooms. Finally, here we are in Ilios Well. This one's probably the least straightforward of the 3 Ilios points. Because the health pack that you take all depends on your team, where they're positioned. I know that a lot of teams just stand around on the point. If that's the case, you're going to want to take this one. If they stand away from the point, however, if they're afraid of something like a Zarya grab, which is usually what happens at higher SRs in matchmaking, probably Diamond Plus. Take these 3 all on the outside, because your team will most likely be fighting in this area or on the other side, but it's usually this side since the health packs are so close, so I like to hold these 3 mainly, usually mostly these 2, but if your team is more so on the point, I recommend taking the small one on both sides in the houses. So to round it up, 3 small ones on that side, and the 2 small ones on these sides are the only ones you'll be taking. However, if your team is getting spawn camped, or if you are spawn camping the enemy team, this mega is key to getting quick EMPs and keeping the spawn camping from either happening or to keep it going. That wraps up Ilios. We'll be moving on to the next map. Next up we have Lijiang Tower. Starting with, I believe this map is Gardens. There's 2 things that you can do on this map depending on which way that your team pushes. If you guys decide to push on the bridge and they have a Pharah or a Lucio, you guys can use this health pack, wait back for a bit, and go the back way instead. So that health pack will only be taken if you have to stall. Other than that, if they have nothing to push you guys off and you continue going this way, I recommend taking this as a selfish pack, going around the back and fucking with the enemy team. If you guys start to spawn push them, you can take their health pack. And if you're holding point, this is very, very important that all of you do this when you have the point. Not just this pack, but take all 3 of these packs in the back. Because if the enemy team pushes from the back, Your team can use this one. Your backliners can use this one, like your Tracer and your Genji. And then your supports can use this one. Since they're hiding in the back, your tanks are brawling out in the front, and your backliners are behind the enemy. Always take all 3 of the small health packs on the back. All the other ones are completely optional, but those are must-haves. Alright, here we go at Lijiang Night Market. This one is another kind of opinionated map. I'll take this one usually when we're first starting to push in. I'll use that. What's the problem with this pack is that when your team pushes in, you're going to be using this pack if you're fighting here. But if your team decides to push around this back way, they're going to come back for this one or use that small one over there. Now, I definitely recommend taking this one if your team's holding down the point, and taking those big ones, well, that big one only, as a selfish pack. These little ones on both sides are way too far away for your team to use. Now, however, if you're fighting in this area, like if you're fighting here, definitely take that, since you can hack it from such a far distance. It'll deny the enemy team a lot of healing. As a matter of fact, you can even just come up here and take this one and fight them from high ground. But the only mandatory health pack on this map is that little one. All the other ones are optional, and that big one is just a selfish one. So don't worry so much about hacking health packs on this map. Use this one as your hacking enemy team map. Here we are finally on Control Center. This is by far Sombra's best control map on control section on Lijiang Tower, because you have both of these health packs to take, that one and this one. Both teams will use those 2 health packs, so those are both very good to hold. And for your side in particular, if the enemy team has the point, I highly recommend not only holding both of the small ones, but also this one, because what you can do is put your translocator here, go in, do some poke damage, fall back and use this one, continue fighting, and then finally fall back to this one, and it's just a bunch of free ult charge. So I mainly recommend holding the 2 little ones and that big one on your side. Now, if you like to fight on and hold high ground, much like I do, this pack's very good to use. If you guys have been in the channel since the beginning, you've seen in my first VOD, I held this area pretty much the whole game on this map. Using this health pack, poking at them from here, poking around here, jumping over here, using some hacks, throwing my translocator up, standing on top of this, dancing around it, and hacking and shooting them. So I really like that pack. But again, the 2 small ones in the white room are probably your best bets. Alright, here we are with Nepal. Forgot what this area of the map was called. I believe this is Village. Anyways, regardless, the only health packs that I hold on this map at all, this big one on the left, and this other big one on the left. Main reason being that most of the time, people like to push up top on both sides. So if you have that health pack for your team, and that health pack to deny the enemy team healing, and also provide your team with more healing while you battle it out over here, you'll get EMP up really, really quickly. Now, when you have the point, I still recommend using those 2, even though they'll become selfish health packs, but there's no other health packs near the point other than this one over here. Now I'm just going to show a quick trick with this health pack, is that you can actually hack it through this wall, I believe. No, they patched that, okay. Used to be able to hack it through the wall, but this is your primary focus. You're going to want to pick up that health pack first when you're holding the point. Other than that, the 2 big ones are going to be your selfish packs that'll give you the most charge. Here we are on, I believe this one's Sanctum. I don't really know the Nepal names on the back of my hand, but this is the one with the pit. Alright, health packs on this one aren't as straightforward as the other ones, so pay very close attention. Main one that I like to hold is this one, because 1, it's closest to the point, and 2, it's in this little back room that not a lot of people go into. If they do go into it, the alternative would be the health pack on the cliff on the far right over here. Now a little trick with this health pack actually is you can place your translocator right on the ledge here, so that way they can't see it for when they camp your pack, and when you teleport back you can come here and crouch. And as you can see, she's kind of covered from it if they're just looking into the doorway. So there's a little trick for you, or you could even just put it right here, and again, the same results. They can't see you when you teleport back. This is a good selfish pack, unless your team is holding high ground over here to fight them. But I'll use this one if the enemy team is not pushing that way. Or if they are pushing that way, I mean, sorry. So, if they're going left, take the right health pack. If they're going right, take the left health pack. Simple as that. What's not as simple is if your team is getting spawn camped, take this pack or this pack, depending on where your team's pushing from. A lot of teams at lower SR ranges just keep pushing in and fighting in the middle, and they get trapped and lose the point. But people always forget there's this alternative route, and what you can do is throw your translocator over there, hack this pack, teleport over here, take this pack, whenever your hack comes off cooldown, of course, poke at the enemy team from the back and do a pincer movement, which is when you go behind and your team pushes through the front. If they push through this small area and they have this health pack to heal them, and the enemy team is fighting them around here, and you're shooting them in the back, and you're getting a ton of EMP charge from this health pack and that one, it's going to help you loads. And the same goes for if you're spawn camping the enemy team. If they're trying to push that way, take that pack. If they're not and they're pushing this way, take this pack. If they're pushing that way, then pull back to the point, and just remember that the most important pack for you to keep hacked is either this one or the one on the ledge. Those other two health packs on both sides are only if you are getting spawn camped or if you are spawn camping the enemy team. But these megas are your friends. The rest of the packs are completely situational. But do not forget about the back route with the small health pack, because that will help you get out of a lot of sticky situations, build up EMP quickly, and be able to push this point, because since it's such a wide open space with no walls, all you have to do is boop, get the EMP off, and cap the point. This map on Nepal is my favorite to play Sombra on. And if you guys saw the VOD that I played on this map where I got triggered and ended up muting my mic, I still hate that video, you'll understand that this is my favorite one by far, because you have so many different places to push from with your team. If you guys are pushing up the middle, I highly recommend taking this pack on the ledge, because a lot of people go to use that one, especially flankers, and the large packs on this side. Make sure that you're taking the ones on both sides, because if the enemy team has a Sombra, they will be trying to do the same. Hold both. You provide plenty of team to your healing, plenty of denying to the enemy team. You don't even need to hold that one, but if you do, break the 2 health pack rule, take that one, hold the 3, and you'll be all set. These ones especially build EMP up the fastest. Here we are on Oasis. I believe this one's City Center. I don't really like her very much on this map, but the main health packs that you're going to be taking are this jump pad health pack, the small one in that room, and the small one in that room. You're going to place your translocator in this corner, use this health pack when you recall, and use this one when fighting other people. Take the advantage of the high ground. If you're holding the high ground, you can literally just toy around with your opponents the entire game. You can hack from up here, you can fire from up there. It's very easy to contest this point because of this area up here. You can just, it doesn't contest from up here, but you can jump off and then teleport back up, install for overtime, drop down, go invisible. This is a good selfish pack to take, but I recommend being careful here, because if someone happens to spot your translocator, you could get booped into the cars. When I'm holding it, I put it either in this corner or in that room, but sometimes the travel time is a little bit too long to walk back to the health pack. But like I said, the main ones are going to be all the ones near the jump pad. That one, and that one. The car one is an optional selfish pack. Now for spawn camping health packs, if your team's getting spawn camped, this one and this one, or if you're not all the way up in the spawn like that, then this one is pretty good as well. And if you're spawn camping the enemy team, this small one and that small one, or even this big one actually can be pretty decent. I don't like holding the big ones here because of where they're placed. It just kind of seems awkward. If this wasn't like a ledge and it was more enclosed and it was like right here, I'd probably use it more often, like if there was just a wall there, but you can get shot at and pushed around too easily when using that pack. So, to recap, small pack, big pack are your main ones. Big pack over there is selfish. The rest are situational depending on which team is getting spawn camped, if at all. This right here, University, is by far Sombra's best map because of how close the health packs are. Main ones you'll be holding are this small one, the big one down there, and the small one up on this ledge. Now, if your team's holding from high ground, such as a higher SR range, you fight up here, use that pack. If you're fighting on the point, so Mega provides a lot of healing to your team, a lot of healing denial to the enemy team. The only problem with this pack is that they have to get down here and go all the way back up. Now you don't have to do that because you could just teleport back up. As well as like Pharah and Genji can get back up. And then this one is just really close to the point. So people that don't have the mobility to get back up from down there may just use this one. People that are holding high ground will use that one. And people with a lot of mobility will be using that one. That one will give you the most charge, but these two are the most frequently used ones. So holding all three is a very good idea. Alright, here we are with the last one. I always forget what this one's called, but this one's probably going to be the fastest one to go through because of the health pack locations. This one. This is the selfish pack that I use. Or if your team is pushing in, you can use this pack as well to build up EMP real quick. But normally that's the only pack I'll take until we have control of the point, in which case I'll take this one. Now sometimes, if you're feeling that big one over there is a little bit risky because of how close it is to the enemy team and to the point. So it'll be very easily jumped, like they'll jump on your translocator right away and take you out if they see it. So you can use this one. Brings you right to the point. It's a mega, gives you a lot of charge. It's just that your team won't be using it as much as that one. And you could also take the one on their side if you're feeling a little bit risky. You can take it and hide your translocator in this bush or like behind one of these trees or something, and just prance around these three health packs. I don't do that a lot because I prefer to just hold this small one for my team and that big one for myself. But really, it depends on your play style. And thing is, that's the thing about these guides, guys, is that everything in them is not fact. It's just what I find is most helpful to me and will help the newer up-and-coming Sombra players. If you have a play style or certain health packs or whatever that you do and you take, you do that play style because you're comfortable with it and it's what makes you succeed. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like if you did, subscribe if you want to see more, and thank you guys for watching my guides. It's much appreciated.